My name is Joel.
And I'm Andrene.
And this is Rewind Rewatch, a 90s movie podcast. Welcome back, Rewinders. Happy New Year. And we are back with episode 98 of the Rewind Rewatch podcast, which means...
What does it mean?
We are only 2 episodes away from episode 100, which we have been teasing for about 2 months now.
It's been a while, I feel like.
So episode 100 is coming up in just 2 short weeks. And we would like you listeners to get involved. We have already received a few voicemails from some folks. Shout out to the patrons who subscribe to the Patreon. But we want to hear from all of you, not just the patrons. Those of you who have been listening a lot. I know there's a few people who requested today's movie, who followed up and said that they listen all the time. They listen every week. So we want to hear from more of you. And as we've said in the past, we will be spending time for episode 100. Instead of covering one movie, we'll kind of be doing a recap of a number of things. We'll talk about some of our favorite movies that we've already watched, some of our... I don't want to give too much away because we're going to have some surprises in there. But the one thing that we have definitely already discussed is the fact that we will have a Q&A portion of episode 100. So in order for you to leave a question for us, we actually have a number that you can call in, leave a voicemail. We'll play it on the episode before answering your question.
Yep, that number is 202-688-5195.
And this is probably going to be like the last week that you have to be able to submit your question. So if you are one of those procrastinators, and I know many of them.
Just pause it now. Just pause now.
Yeah, just pause this episode. Yeah. Leave your voicemail. Well, think of your question first. Mull it over. You've already had 2 months to think about it. Leave us your voicemail, and then you can listen to episode 98, which we will be covering Arnold Schwarzenegger's True Lies.
True Lies.
True Lies from 1994, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis.
This is rated R.
Of Halloween fame.
Yes, she is the Scream Queen.
I was trying to remember what the name of the movie is because everybody just calls it Jason. So I'm like, wait, no, it's not Jason.
No, it's
That's
Michael.
Mike Myers. Michael Myers.
When you say everybody, you mean black people.
Well,
because black people don't call things by what they're
it's
called.
Michael Myers, and then
it's Michael Myers. It's Freddy.
Yeah.
It's Jason.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. Chucky.
Jigsaw.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to say, I'm watching Child's Play. I'm watching the Chucky movie. Like, come on. Let's be honest here. Anyway, she's in this. And we also see...
Your boy, Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. The daughter in this movie is Eliza Dushku, who we covered on the Patreon for the Bring It On episode. And then Charlton Heston is also in this movie. And... I would be remiss if I did not also mention Tom Arnold, who I absolutely loved in this movie.
He was really funny.
So, True Lies. This, before we even get into it, I have to say, this is a movie that I had a vague memory of. And really, the only thing I remembered about this movie was the scene where he's pretending to be someone else and she comes in a hotel room and starts trying to dance sexy. That's all I remember about this movie.
Really?
So I'm like, I know that they're married. I know he's a spy, but she doesn't know. And and then I remembered that scene. So I was like, what is this movie actually? Anyway. But I think the main reason I wanted to cover this movie is because it was the most requested movie on our list, which is kind of interesting. So who are the people who requested True Lies?
There are so many people and so many first timers. So I'm going to take my time saying everybody's name. So first off, we have Megan from DC.
Shout out to Megan.
We have our aunt, Jacinth from Florida.
Oh, shout out to Aunt Jay.
We have Thwip Stickers from Georgia.
Shout out to Thwip Stickers.
We have Latrell from Queens, New York.
All right, shout out to Latrell.
We have Jeremy from Georgia.
Another Georgia, another Jeremy.
And another first-time listener. We have the spouse of a listener. So the listener's name is Ayla, and her spouse's name is Brandon out of Denver.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Ayla and Brandon. All right, nice. So True Lies, 1994. And this is our, I think, third Arnold movie.
Yeah.
We did Kindergarten Cop previously, and we also did Junior. So
There must be a mother.
One sentence summary time. It's the moment you've all been waiting for, folks.
All right, I'm on.
Yes.
Pressure.
One sentence summary describing the movie True Lies.
All right, gun to my head.
I didn't say that. This is a self-imposed.
That's how I get myself ready.
Gun to the head.
Gun to my head. A spy must save his family while trying to stop an international terrorist plot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Arnold is this spy, and his wife believes that he is a
Salesman.
right, traveling salesman, which is how he describes why he's always gone. Mm-hmm. And we get the sense early on in the movie that he and his wife seem to kind of like it seems like their relationship's kind of going cold. They have this daughter who's a teenager. She's kind of just like doing her own thing. We see this montage of like the mom sitting at the dinner table waiting for him to come home. Does that happen in this movie?
Yeah, he misses his birthday dinner.
Okay, yes.
So yeah, that does happen.
I just
think about Liar Liar or something.
No, so I also just recently watched Nobody 2 with Better Call Saul guy. Mm-hmm. And he's also a spy, but that's a different story. He also has like a family that he's been very absent from. So that's why I was like, is that the right movie? Anyway, but they don't know the fact that this guy's a spy. The daughter's like stealing money from them and like going to school on the back of some guy's motorcycle. Mm-hmm. His wife seems to be very timid, and kind of like buttoned up and nerdy. And so this is kind of this life that he lives. But we see early on in the movie that he's doing these other things. He's breaking into this mansion. He's speaking other languages. Mm-hmm. He has this completely different persona instead of... For some reason, his secret persona is also named Harry, which I thought was like...
Yeah,
probably
it's
not that secretive.
Harry Rehnquist is his work name, and his real life name is Harry Tasker. And I thought that too. Like, why didn't they just change his name completely?
I also thought it was funny because when he's speaking French and Arabic, he still just sounds Austrian. So that was also very funny because it's like Arnold's not gonna like give you like a great Arabic accent. In any event, we see that he's able to like pull all these schemes, and he like swims underwater and breaks into the mansion by cutting open the metal bars. Mm-hmm. And then there's a getaway scene where he's like riding on one of those snowmobiles and shooting people. It's all very over the top. And I should also say, one of the things that I did really enjoy about watching this movie is that it's a cheesy action movie that knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's a movie that's in on the joke. So when it's described as an action comedy, it's not an action comedy in the same way as like, I'm trying to think of an example of like, an action comedy like that movie with like Will Ferrell and like the other guys. Like that's like an action comedy that's like more comedy.
Jokes, yeah.
This is an action comedy in the sense that like it's primarily an action movie, but there's jokes throughout it. Mm-hmm. And they're also kind of like making fun of the action genre.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun to see because I think a lot of times when I watch action movies, I'm struck by how like cheesy and over the top and unbelievable they are. I mean, we've talked about many of them on this very pod. But this is a movie that's kind of like, oh, we know how this is ridiculous, so we're just gonna like play up how ridiculous it is and have Arnold throw out these like crazy cheesy punchlines.
Here, cool off.
There's so many quotes from this movie.
Oh, did you have a favorite?
Oh, God. Favorite quote. This is kind of funny. I'll say that when, towards the end, like the very, very end of the film, when one of the terrorists, his name was Aziz, somehow like his clothing or his backpack gets stuck on like a missile, and like...
Oh, his gun.
Yeah, but while like what happens is Harry is flying this, Harrier, I think it's called Harrier Marine jet.
He's flying a Marine fighter jet that he steals from the Marines.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, it's fine. He knew how to fly this once upon a time. He'll be okay.
And it was terrible.
Like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, him taking off was pretty funny.
Because the Marines just back off and let you steal their planes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
He's the spy, bro. Spy ranks Marines.
Spy ranks Marines.
Spy ranks Marines. Don't you know this?
I wasn't familiar with the ranking system.
So Aziz, who's playing like the main, bad guy, he gets stuck on one of the missiles that's on the side of this Marine fighter jet. And then Harry's character fires the missile. And so Aziz goes flying through the air. And then Harry turns to the camera and says, "You're fired." So that was great.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a good one. You mentioned like this movie, how it doesn't really take itself very seriously. And the one thing I will say about that is just the character of Albert altogether, like played by your man, Tom Arnold.
Nah, he was amazing.
Albert was just...
He was on joke time the whole movie.
The entire movie, everything was always a joke. Everything was always funny. And nothing really fazed him. And point in case, when you said that like Dana, the daughter, was stealing cash from Harry and he finds out about it, Albert tells him that she's probably stealing the money to pay for an abortion.
He's like, she's a teenager.
He's like, she's 14. He's like, yeah, what do you think?
Nah, yeah, he's crazy.
He's just making jokes the entire time. That was really, really making me laugh. And this whole cover story that he has about him being a salesman, it's really annoying because his poor wife keeps saying like, he's never available. He's always working late. But like when he talks about his job, it's really boring. Mm-hmm. So like it doesn't really make sense that he's talking to me about some computer issue that they had. But it's like, but why couldn't you come home for your birthday party? Like it doesn't really add up to her.
Well, boring doesn't mean he's not busy. It's just boring.
But also she's like, he talks like he's saving the world, which of course we know that he is.
Right.
But she's like, I don't really understand what's going on with him. And she kind of feels like ignored by her spouse. He's not really paying her a lot of attention. You could tell there's a strain on their relationship from all the scenes we see when they interact in the house.
Yeah, it's like it feels like his marriage is like slipping through his fingers, but he also seems very unfazed by it. Mm-hmm. Like it's just kind of like, which made me question like, is their relationship even real, or is this just his beard?
Oh, his cover
to cover the fact. But like he has a child with this woman, and I'm assuming that Tasker is his real last name, but like I don't know. Maybe that's also fake too, because we also see after he has the first mission, he goes back home, and then Tom Arnold basically gives him like, all right, we got to switch back. Mm-hmm. Here's the passport for Harry Tasker. And I'm like, is this like another mission, or is this like, is he actually Harry Tasker?
That's a good point.
And I don't know if that question really ever gets answered, but in any event, he does not seem to really be invested in or even care about what's going on with his wife until he thinks that she's cheating on him.
Well,
and then when he finds out that like, oh, she's like leaving work to go see some guy, then all of a sudden he's very invested in his relationship, which I thought was very interesting.
Well, that's how it happens, right?
I don't know. What do you mean?
I'm just saying, like, a lot of times they say people don't appreciate things until they're gone. So it's the threat of her leaving. Because again, she is safe. She doesn't really do anything. She doesn't really have a lot of friends. She works and comes home, takes care of the kid, cleans the house. So as far as he's concerned, she's always going to be there. And so he feels bad for missing his birthday dinner. And so he tells his partner, Albert, that he's trying to make it up to his wife. He's going to surprise her to take her to lunch during one of her days at work. And when he gets there, he overhears her on the phone with this Simon character played by Bill Paxton. And it's really the coworker that's hyping it up.
Nah, the coworker is making it super hot.
The coworker is this black woman.
She's like, get something for me, honey. It's like, all right.
And she's like, ooh, that's Simon on the phone. Yeah. And she's like, shh, be quiet. And on the phone, Simon's saying, like, meet me where we always meet. And she's like, right now, I need to see you. And if coworker's just like, yo, go get some, like, I'll cover for you, like, have a good time, all this stuff. So now we see Harry's character walking back, almost gets hit by a bus because he's not watching. Not just incensed, he was dejected. He's just like looking down, not walking where he's going, just like, I can't believe this is happening to me. My wife is cheating on me. And this is where, good old Albert comes back and he's like, this is bound to happen. Like, you're never home. She's a flesh and blood woman. Like, this is what happens.
And Albert's like, I've already had my last 2 wives cheat on me. So
yeah.
Of course, it was only a matter of time before your wife cheated on you too, bro.
Nobody thinks it can happen to them the first time, buddy. Same exact thing happened to me with wife number 2. Remember? I had no idea nothing's going on, right? I come home one day and the house is completely empty. And I mean completely empty. She even took the ice cube trays out of the freezer. Hey, listen, Helen still loves you. She just wants to bang this guy for a while, It's nothing serious. You'll get used to it soon.
Stop cheering me up!
What'd you expect, Harry? Helen's a flesh and blood woman and you're never there. It's just a matter of time.
The thing about this that I almost felt Albert had a good point is in this type of job, I don't know that you can maintain a healthy relationship with someone unless they're a spy with you, because you can never tell them the
Mr. and
truth.
Mrs. Smith?
I mean, think about it. Think about
get you.
Mission Impossible. He doesn't have no wife.
No.
You can't.
No.
So I almost felt like
James Bond just has a new woman every movie.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Bruce Wayne doesn't have a wife.
Bruce Wayne's not a spy. Bruce Wayne's a lunatic who dresses up like a bat and jumps off roofs. A billionaire jumping off roofs.
He's protecting Gotham. But in those jobs, I feel like it's kind of hard to see yourself being in a healthy relationship when at the drop of a dime, you have to drop everything and hop on a plane. It's just not reasonable, I think. Yeah.
I felt like before the Simon incident, he didn't even... It's like, I get that you're a spy and I know that you have these top secret things that you can't tell your family, but it felt like he wasn't even pretending to care about them. He's just coming home oh yeah, well, I missed my birthday, sorry, whatever. Him and his daughter didn't seem to have any relationship until she gets kidnapped later in the movie. And it's like, oh, my daughter, I have to go save her. But it's like, bro, you don't even talk to this girl. So I just thought it was funny. Also, not just the fact that he cared about his wife after he thought she was cheating on him. Okay.
Yes.
But also the fact that when he asks her about it later, oh, hey, I tried to surprise you at work. You weren't there. And she makes up some lie about where she went. And this is when he gets really pissed.
That seems hilarious.
And I thought that was kind of interesting too, because it's you lie to your wife every single day. And then when she lies to you, you're you cannot handle it. And I thought that was really funny because it's man, the people who are habitual liars are always the ones that are the most upset when they get lied to.
True, but also in his mind, he's lying to protect the nation, whereas she's lying to have sex with this guy. So it's not the same.
It's not. But
so we find out. So this Simon character, at this point, Harry, like you said, he's incensed, and he tells Albert that he wants to run an unauthorized wiretap on his wife.
Okay, so this is American tax dollars being put to very good use. He goes from being Mr. Spy Man to breaking every protocol in the book.
Yep.
like repeatedly from this point through the end of the movie where he steals a Marine's fighter jet. Like he's just literally doing whatever he wants.
Yes. It gets worse.
First, he's stealing resources to basically stalk his wife. Then he is having a group of people, a group of spies who he basically, you know, they do all these top secret missions. So a lot of times people are showing up. They might not even necessarily know all the details. They just know I need to be here. I need to extract this person, so on and so forth. And he basically like stalks Simon while Simon is out with his wife and accosts this man, has a bunch of masked men take him away.
Bro,
he hangs
take
him
her away.
He hangs him like over the side of a cliff, threatens to kill the guy. Then he kidnaps his wife, has her in an interrogation room, starts asking her all these private questions with his voice jumbled so she doesn't know that it's him. And the whole time she thinks she's caught up in something real because this guy Simon lied to her about being a spy. So it's like she's with this guy who her husband thinks she's cheating on him with, who is pretending to be a spy. Meanwhile, her husband is an actual spy. She doesn't know it. Meanwhile, her husband thinks she's sleeping with Simon when she's actually not. So everybody is kind of caught up in separate lies.
Yes.
All kind of jumbled in the same thing, which I think was very funny. It was very funny.
Yeah, it was funny, but it's also like just talking about how wild this is. I'm watching him do all these things, like you said, and I could not help but think about McNulty in the last season of The Wire.
Oh my God.
Where he like creates this fake serial killer case in order to get manpower and overtime for another case. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, this is something he would do. And it was making me mad because I just watched The Wire. It was fresh. And I was like, bro, this is
very McNulty coded. That's actually a good shout.
So before we even get to this point, he's tailing Simon to figure out what's going on with this guy. He learns that he's a fake spy. And he's in fact a used car salesman.
Of course.
Yeah, just
because every slimy character sells used cars.
It's
the ultimate slime.
It's part of the job description.
Yeah, it's like you can't just be an honest guy and sell used cars. You have to be slime.
And when he gets there, he ends up going on a test drive with Simon. They're driving a Corvette.
Which is interesting because Simon's driving.
Yes.
Which is not how any test drive I've taken has worked. Usually, if I'm trying to buy this car, I'm behind the wheel, but whatever.
It's not till the very end. So this test drive, first of all, is the longest I've ever seen in history.
They're just hanging out.
Yeah, because they stopped to get lunch.
They're just hanging out. This is not a test drive.
They're eating. I'm like, what's happening with this? They're talking, and basically Simon's like, yeah, he gets all these chicks, and driving around in the Corvette, all these things, and talking about things that didn't age well. The way that he was talking about Harry's wife, not knowing it's Harry's wife, of course. But it was so cringe. At one point,
I think it was supposed to be.
No, but he talks about like her titties, and I was like, okay, we get it. But the line that made me do a double take was, he said, she has an ass like a 10-year-old boy.
Oh,
and I said, wait a minute.
That's insane. Yeah,
what does that mean?
I actually forgot about that line until you just said it. And I think I had like just swiftly just erased it from my memory.
Because I said, what? Why was that added to the script?
I don't know who wrote this.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't want to know what that means. To be honest with you, I really don't want to know what that means.
Yeah, so
I can say I've never described a woman's body that way.
Yes. So Simon's a hot mess, and at this
he said, but what about their husbands? But what about their husbands? And he said, dickless. If they took care of business, I'd be out of business. He did say that. Nah, dog. This joint had me crying.
No.
Oh man.
No,
the whole ride around scene. That whole ride around scene was very funny.
That's what he said.
Dickless.
He said, the vet gets him wet.
The vet gets him wet, dog. That's the quote of the movie right there. Oh, man. Nah, this guy's crazy, man. Like, they made him the ultimate slime. So, I think the other part of it is like, what is Helen what does Helen think
About
is happening
Simon?
with Simon?
Like she said, because the first time they meet, she's eating lunch alone at a restaurant. This stranger runs up to her, gives her a briefcase, and basically is like, hold on for this. It's a matter of national security. They're watching me. I gotta go. Mm-hmm. And then he just bounces. And she's like, oh. First of all, there's no way that I'm taking a random person's anything.
No.
I don't care how small it is, how large it is.
It could be a bomb.
I'm not taking anything.
It could be drug
Stolen
money.
Right.
It could,
Drugs. It could be anything. So she takes his suitcase back and then picks the lock while she's in her cubicle at work.
Which is insane. Because I'll tell you what I'm not going to do is open that briefcase under any circumstances.
No.
I am never opening the briefcase just so that I have plausible deniability and just in case. Like, I don't even want to know what's in this thing.
There are passports in there. There's a map in there. There's actual money from different countries. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking like, yo, Simon really did his homework, to be fair.
He's doing all of this just to get laid.
Yeah. This is what he does, though. Like, it works.
It's his scheme.
This is what he does.
It's his scheme.
And so
Well, apparently it doesn't work because when he's being held over the cliff, he admits to the fact that he actually doesn't get many girls. So
I don't know.
that means he's
I don't know if
actually
he meant
doing
it.
way more work. But yeah, so again,
He's a spy. He needs her help. Which again, it's like, if you're a spy, you should have a whole team. Like, why do you need me?
he's just a guy that's running away from some other guys. The other guys whom she, of course, never sees, but they're out there somewhere. And I just felt that, okay, fine. Maybe you think this is some exciting scheme that's making your life a little bit more interesting than, sitting at home alone while your husband doesn't come home. All right, that's fine enough. But when she goes to see him, late at night, I might add, in his trailer.
Oh, his hideout, yeah.
And he's like, oh, we need to go on this top secret mission, and I need you to pretend to be my wife. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. If she agrees to that, probably not a great idea, but okay. And then he's like, well, we have to really get comfortable with each other so that we can be good at pretending to be husband and wife. And then he just gets on top of her and starts kissing her. I'm like, come on, man, how gullible can you be to let this man just start kissing you? That has nothing to do with pretending to be someone's wife.
Well, to his credit, when he first puts his hand on her leg, she jumps away. And he was like, see, if you do that in front of people, they're going to make us. Which they would.
He's like, you have to be more comfortable. And then he just jumps on top of her. And she's like, oh, okay.
At first she kisses, but then she's like, nah. And then she kicks him off of her.
She does.
And then when that happens, that's when the whole SWAT team.
It was a bit too late for my taste.
The SWAT team comes in, and Harry starts seeing red because he sees this man lying on top of his wife, and he, goes crazy. But you know what? Helen got some fight in her.
She does.
Because she was able to kick Albert in the balls. She bites her husband not knowing it's him. I mean, she was fighting, to be fair. But yeah, I'm also thinking about who is Harry's boss? Because how is he able to execute this plan?
Harry's boss is Charlton Heston.
Take her back to wherever the hell he put her, disguise his voice, question her, all that, and then plan a secret mission for her to, a fake mission for her to act out. I'm just like, no one knows what's going on.
No.
There's no paperwork needed for when you go and extract somebody?
Apparently not.
Oh, okay.
He just called some of his guys and he's like, I need you here.
All right.
Again, like I said, just a wonderful use of our tax dollars.
So anyway, he's like, okay, I have a
When
mission.
he takes her in for this interrogation, though, he's going way overboard, asking her all types of questions that honestly, even if she was actually with a spy, would have
nothing to do
with anything. He just wants to know if his wife slept with this guy. And this is after Harry said, Helen still loves you. She just wants to bang this guy for a while. So he's on joke time.
Oh,
and
Albert?
Then, Albert has put all types of ideas in his head. So now he's like, yo, did you sleep with him? Did you kiss him? Did you do this?
She's
She's
like,
like, no. Do I have to answer every question 2 times? I already told you no, bro.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So he's going way
He's
overboard.
what about Harry? Do you love him? It's like, what?
Why would a spy ask her that? Do you love your husband? Yeah. What?
So anyway, to get out from the trouble that she's in for, fraternizing with this international spy, they tell her that either she must complete this one mission or basically she and her husband and her daughter's lives will be destroyed. So she has no real choice here. And for this mission, her name is Doris and her contact is Boris. And she's like, okay.
Yes.
Fine. And so now they have her do this mission where she gets a phone call at home and she's told she needs to dress like a sex worker.
What is the purpose of this mission? Why did he make her do this?
I think it was just for kicks and giggles. And honestly, watching it back now, it gave me the ick. Because I feel like when I was younger, I thought it was just like, oh, we're seeing Jamie Lee Curtis like be sexy and like this is fun. This is a fun scene. But watching it back, I was just like, so you're going to have your wife think that she's meeting a stranger, make her feel uncomfortable. We know that she's not like...
She has to pretend to be a prostitute.
Yeah. And then...
This is not just like make her uncomfortable. And this is like put her in actual like danger of being assaulted.
Yeah, like exactly. And then it's like, oh, well, don't worry. Like this guy likes to watch, so he's not going to actually touch you. But then, like, she gets in there, and he has, of course, one of his French coworkers, record this tape telling her to like undress slowly.
More of our resources being put to great use.
And do all this stuff. And then she's told to basically put on like this striptease dance for this guy. And Harry is sitting in the room in the shadows, in a chair, holding this tape recorder, pressing it, and watching her.
I would also love to know how dark this room is. That she doesn't even recognize her own husband.
No.
She doesn't recognize her own husband because he's sitting a few feet away from her. He can see her as plain as day.
It doesn't sound like him.
But she has no idea. She can't tell by the shape of his face. She can't tell by the way he's sitting. Nothing.
And also, she can't hear the clicking of the tape, of the cassette player.
Every time this guy talks, something clicks beforehand. This is very strange.
Because he has to rewind at one point and say, like, undress or
he tells
lay
her
on
to
the bed.
Get on the bed for me.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, she does this whole dance and, like...
And then she's like, I thought you liked to watch. He's like, get on the bed for me. Nah, this movie's mad funny, bro. Like, this is the whole thing. It's like, it's so ridiculous that it's just like, you have to laugh because they're actually making it jokes. And I think this is what I keep coming back to whenever we watch these movies. It's like, don't try to convince me that this makes sense. Mm-hmm. If you just play into the fact that it's nonsense, then I can appreciate it. Except for Face Off. I didn't appreciate any of that. that movie just stunk. But yes, I feel like that's what makes this movie count is the fact that they're not trying to make it make sense.
Yeah. So then she lies down on the bed. He has this rose. And again, I'm watching this and I'm like, bro, at what point are you going to say like, hey, it's me? Because at this point, she thinks there's a stranger rubbing a flower all over her body. And then he starts to kiss her. And I'm like, again, your wife does not know that this is you. At what point are you going to put her at ease? He doesn't do so. So then she grabs the phone from the side of the table, bangs him on the head. He falls down. Then she kicks him twice for good measure. She completes her mission by putting...
Still doesn't recognize it's him, even when he's kneeling on the floor.
Too dark.
It was way too dark.
Too dark. She kicks him, and then she plants the bug where she's supposed to plant it in the room, and she's getting ready to run out, and he's like, wait, Helen. And then she's like, Harry? Which again, like, your husband kisses you, and you didn't realize it was him? I don't know. But...
She hasn't done that in a while.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So at this point, she realizes it's him, and she's like, what are you doing here? And then, surprise, surprise, these terrorists run into the hotel and they kidnap both of them.
The Crimson Jihad.
And that's a really gross name. That's a really gross name. Because I feel like generally speaking, when it comes to, I guess, Westerners, which would be us, like Americans and all that, it's like we see the word jihad. I remember being in school and learning that it meant like holy war or something. But like in reality, there's like different layers to that term. Like if you're an actual Muslim, it doesn't just mean that.
Wow.
But, for Americans, it's
George Bush would have you think otherwise.
Oh, no. So I have a lot to say.
Not to mention the fact that earlier in the film, when they're at the super secret spy headquarters and Tom Arnold, whose name I keep forgetting,
Albert
is flipping through the terrorist database, and it's just a long list of brown men.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like...
Yeah. It's gross.
Repeatedly, it's like, these are the only terrorists in the entire database? Okay.
Yeah. And the terrorists, I have a lot to say about them because I'm watching it, and there's a scene that's actually really funny where the head terrorist, Aziz, is trying to make this video that they're going to play on the air.
Oh, I love this. I love this.
You know, basically like telling the United States what their demands are, what they want. He says, you know, the U.S., they come in and they murder our women and our children. They bomb our cities and they call us the terrorists. And I was like, preach.
Yo, Aziz is cooking right now. Let him go.
But then he says, like, basically he's going to start setting off bombs in one major U.S. city until every demand has been met. And as he's saying this, the guy who's holding the camera, he's like, Aziz, battery. He said, what? And the battery dies in the camcorder?
Nah, it's the setup of the
Bro,
joke.
I was dying.
If these demands are not met, Crimson Jihad will rain fire on one major American city each week.
Battery, Aziz.
Get another one, you moron.
The setup of the joke that makes it so funny is they show him holding the camcorder, and then they show it like from the camcorder view. So you see like the little battery icon in the bottom of the screen blinking, and you see him getting nervous. Now, this guy is running a terrorist organization. So it's like, yo, if you're him, do you stop him in the middle of his speech and be like, yo, hold on?
He did it.
He's like, nah, I don't want to say anything. But then he's getting into his speech. He keeps going in, and then the tape cuts. So he's like, oh, now I have to say something because then the tape is going to be incomplete. So it's the funniness, it's the humor of like, this guy is giving a terrorist message, but the battery runs out, which is already funny. But it's also, I think, as I'm watching it, I'm putting myself in this guy's shoes of like, yo, I don't want to say nothing.
And he was like sweating. He was like sweating bullets.
Of course he was. So he's like, yo, this battery dying could end my life, bro. Like, this could be it for me.
He said, battery is easy. He said, get another one, you moron.
I love the battery joke.
Yeah, battery disease was great. But what wasn't great was, so his demands get cut off because of the battery. But then later on, they end up airing, you know, like the whole thing on the news. We hear a snippet of it. But I'm realizing we never actually know what the terrorists' like demands were. Like, their actual reasoning was never explained. All we know is that they're just terrorists. And I'm like, so that's it?
Brown
like,
guys.
There's no reason for what they're doing?
Yeah,
they're just out here?
They're bad guys. They hate America, bro. What you mean?
Oh, God.
He already said that.
I was like, yeah, that's not great because...
We're bombing your cities because you bombed ours. They're trying to get back for, whatever. Stuff.
Okay.
American stuff.
For American stuff. Yes, there's a lot of those, like, the Arab terrorist stereotypes throughout it that did not age well.
Well, if we're talking about things that didn't age well, there's a lot of bitches being thrown around in this movie, like, repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like, every woman in this movie gets called a bitch at least once by both men and other women.
Speaking of women, we didn't mention one of the main, I guess, bad guys.
The art dealer?
The art dealer, yes. I'm trying to catch her name. I have her in the notes somewhere. Juno. Juno is an arts and antiquities dealer that has offices in Rome, but in this movie, she ends up doing some work for the Smithsonian, so they're in D.C. And what ends up happening is apparently she is importing all of these different things from the Middle East, and she is helping these terrorists because basically they have like these warheads that they're placing in these huge like Persian statues.
Like nuclear weapons.
Yeah. And so they're smuggling them in by way of her art exhibits or galleries. And I guess she's getting paid big money to,
she's
help
definitely
them out.
getting paid. Is what she says. Like, I don't care who wins. I just know I want my bread. And they're paying me big bucks.
This is a dangerous game, man. Like, this is not something you should just get into for some bread. Like,
so the art dealer, I had a question that I missed it, but I'm hoping maybe you can clarify this. So at the beginning of the movie, when Arnold breaks into this mansion, he starts chatting up the art dealer Juno. They dance a tango together. They exchange numbers. And under the guise of Harry Rehnquist, he's trying to get into kind of her business to figure out her connection to the terrorists. For one reason or another, that never ends up really playing itself out. And while he basically could have continued to be tailing these people, he instead is running around basically spying on his wife.
Yes.
So this has distracted him so much so is the reason that him and his wife get caught in the first place.
Exactly.
My question, though, is how did the terrorists figure out that he was a spy? Because he meets with her. At some point, I think they figure out that, like, her room was bugged or something happened. And then the terrorist group immediately is like, oh, we have to catch that guy that you danced with at that party. And that's when the whole scene with the horse riding through Georgetown.
I love that
which
scene.
we definitely have to
I
talk
love that
about.
scene. But I think what happens is...
But, like, how did they even put that connection together? I was
so
not clear
after
about
the
that.
dance, he ends up going to the Smithsonian to meet with her because he's trying to investigate her.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking, and he's asking about the Persian statues. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, this is from Persia, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And she was like, yeah, haha, laughing and kikiing. And we see Aziz, like, back there watching. He's like, bro, like, you're sitting here smiling in this man's face. But, like, can you actually trust this guy? The FBI is on our backs. I guess in his mind, it's like, the FBI is on our backs. What are the odds that you meet this guy at this party? Remember, he, like, crashed the party. He got chased out of there. And now he's showing up at your gallery, asking you questions about your stuff, and, like, you're just smiling in his face. So, like,
these are in different countries, by the way. The party was in Switzerland, and now he's
Exactly.
at her museum in D.C.
it's like, so I think he's using his brain, and he's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why do you trust him? And speaking about bitches, she got bitch slapped. She got bitch slapped like twice by him. He said, wake up and smell the spy.
That's real.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So there's... This is when... I don't even remember how they end up in the Georgetown Mall. I really don't remember.
Okay, I can tell you. So this is actually the night of his birthday party. And the plan was...
Birthday party that he doesn't show up for.
Correct. The plan was for Albert to drop Harry at home that night. As they're driving back to his house...
He's getting trailed.
They're getting trailed. And so he said, let's play this out. I'm going to get out here and have them tail me, basically. And he has this cool spy gadget. It's like this pair of shades that has... hidden what do they call it? CCTV camera on it?
CCTV. There's a camera in the bottom of a pack of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's holding it to his side and smoking a cigarette. And the whole time he's using it through his shades to look behind him.
Yeah, it was dope. And so he ends up going into this some hotel, and he goes into the bathroom. And there's 3 guys in the car. 2 of them we know trail him. And then Albert lost track of the 3rd guy. They come in, he quickly...
They're immediately trying to kill him.
Yes.
So that's why it goes from like, yo, who is this guy to like, he has to die. So at this point, and I think
we
that
need
was
action, baby. We need action.
Yeah. There was action. There was so much ridiculous action in this scene.
Yeah, he kills them very quickly.
Because the whole thing is like, there's a whole fight in a men's room, like a whole shootout in a men's room, while the old man is in the stall trying to take a dookie.
Yeah.
And they're like having this whole fight. Somehow he is able to get out unscathed.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that one of the terrorists literally shoots an automatic weapon through each stall. Mm-hmm. But the old man's safe because we had to get the shot of him peeking out with his pants around his legs.
Down, yeah.
So that was worth it.
Yeah.
Harry, at one point, grabs the hand dryer out of the wall and smashes someone in the head with it.
He's strong, baby.
So that was fun. Then, after he kills those guys, the main guy, Aziz, is trying to get away. He steals a motorcycle.
Yes.
Is driving through the streets, at first in the streets. He later Arnold stops a police who's riding a horse. He's like, "Yo, I need this. I'm an agent." Mm-hmm. Knocks the cop off his horse and takes the horse. So now he's chasing a motorcycle with a horse.
Yes, I love
chases him into a hotel. So they're riding through a hotel lobby. A motorcycle drives through a hotel lobby, followed by a horse. The best part, though, is when they go into the mall and they both get into elevators.
Yes.
And the thing I love about Harry in this movie is how polite he is.
Yeah.
Every time he inconveniences anyone, he's like, "I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Excuse me. I'm sorry." Mm-hmm. He apologizes to every civilian throughout the film. He does this the whole time.
He apologized to the guy with his pants down in the bathroom. He said, "Sorry for this," as he ran out.
Nah, Harry's
No, but
amazing,
in the elevator, there's an older couple dressed to go to a banquet, a fancy dinner.
Yeah, they're in the middle of Georgetown.
And he's in the elevator with the horse. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." And so the wife goes to the husband, like, "Honey, say something." And he's like, "You got a mighty fine animal there."
Nah, the horse in the mall elevator is peak. Actually, it's not peak yet.
It's not peak. We're getting there.
Because Aziz takes him up to the roof of the hotel. At which point he realizes, I don't know why he goes into the roof in the first place, because that's not an exit point.
It didn't make sense.
But he's like, "Yo, I don't know how I'm gonna get away." Oh, I know what I'll do. I will rev this motorcycle as fast as I can, break through the glass on the edge of the roof, and just jump over to another building.
Into a pool, mind you.
Which he surprisingly does.
He's Evel Knievel.
Yes, this is very Speed, where they're able to like hop the bridge, because if you're driving a vehicle and you just raise your shoulders and your head up while you're driving, it's basically like you're playing Mario Kart. The entire you just press R1 and the entire car just jumps over the roof.
So I want to interject here, because after Aziz makes the jump and now Harry is like, "Well, I'm on a horse. We can do the same thing." Which, sir.
I said, "Oh no."
Sir,
I said, they are not going to let this horse jump off this roof.
Right. So I'm watching this and I could not help but think about our episode on The Beauty and the Beast. Because if you recall, I said to you that the smartest character in that movie was Philippe the horse.
Yeah, Philippe. Shout out to Philippe. Man.
Because he knew not to go to that crazy dark part of the woods. So in this situation, this police horse is up there and Harry's like, "Come on, let's go." So the horse starts to run. And then the horse gets to the end of the Marriott and he's like, "Nah." He
hits the brakes. He said, "I'm not jumping off a roof.
I'm not doing that. No.
I'm not a car. I'm not a motorcycle. No. I'm an actual thinking animal. I'm not jumping off of the roof."
So the horse said, "Absolutely not." And then Harry said, "Whoa," and went flying over the top, holding on to the reins of the horse. So now he is hanging down off the side of the Marriott. The horse is there kind of like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Good boy, back up. Now back up. Now, there you go, easy." And the horse starts to back up. And the horse, by backing up, is able to pull Harry up from the side of the thing. So it turns out, I was looking up my notes as I do. Dog. And it turned out that filming that scene is one of the scenes where Schwarzenegger said that he almost died filming it, because the way they did it, they built this little ramp to give the horse a chance to stop. Mm-hmm. However, when they went to measure the distance, like the arm of the camera ended up dropping on the horse's nose. So when it did that, the horse got frightened, so it jumped up and started spinning out of control. The set was already very unsafe to begin with, the 90s of it all. There was no rail, and the ramp was only 4 feet wide.
Oh, wonderful.
So Schwarzenegger was relying on his own intuition, and he just slid off the horse right away, and then a stuntman had to grab him out of the way before the horse could, kick him in his head or something. So he basically said, if I had made one more step either direction, I would have been gone. I know that for sure. And I was like, what the heck were they doing?
That would have been the dumbest way to die.
Right?
On the set
Filming a scene with a horse.
On the set of this dumbass movie, True Lies took Arnold Schwarzenegger from us.
He said if he fell, it was going to be a 30-foot drop.
Bro, why is it a 30-foot drop? That's not how you're. This is not Tom Cruise is the only one stupid enough to do that. If I'm shooting a movie, this should have been filmed in a studio,
Right? So
with a green screen or something. Like,
yeah,
were they actually on the top of a Marriott? What the hell were they doing?
the most.
That's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, funny for us, but scary for him apparently.
So this takes us to the end of the movie. After the whole plot gets busted, and now he's trying to fight the terrorists, but he's got his wife there, and she's helping him. And there's this hilarious gag where he gives his wife the gun.
Oh my God.
And she
Oh my God.
doesn't know what to do with it because she doesn't know how to shoot a gun. The terrorists are running after her, and she slips and trips and drops the gun. And the gun falls on the stairs, and as it falls down the stairs, it's like an M80, and it's just shooting every bad guy in front of her. Like, just bouncing off the stairs and just shooting everyone. Of course, it never shoots back at her.
No.
It only shoots in the direction of where the bad guys are and takes them all out.
Yes.
And this is exactly, like, I feel like this is,
That was
like,
funny.
the epitome of, like, this movie knows it's a comedy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cause like, there's no way that in real life that would absolutely happen, but it's fun. And also, like, she was able to help out because Harry was kind of struggling down there.
Yeah, he
and
was.
so when she did that, it was like, oh, you knocked them all out. Good job.
Mind you, this is after Harry was tied up and injected with a truth serum
Which is not a thing. But
that was literally making him woozy. He was immediately able to take out an entire army. I'm like, man, those drugs wore off really quickly.
Because like at one point he was like looking really dizzy.
He killed
He was
everyone.
like, but it worked just long enough for his wife to ask him questions for him to answer honestly.
You know,
That was really the only reason why.
It worked for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was like he was just back to normal
Yeah.
and just kicking
He broke
ass.
out of his cuffs.
Yeah.
He picked the lock somehow while he was. Yeah, I don't know.
Man. We also get a great shot of Arnold jumping into the water while an explosion happens behind him, which
yeah.
no 90s action movie is complete
Need
without the main character jumping away from an explosion.
You also have Harry hanging off the side of a helicopter, reaching down to get his wife as she comes up through the sunroof of a moving vehicle.
Oh, yes.
That was fun.
Yes.
That was fun.
Man, it also feels like time always works very differently in these movies because the terrorists set a bomb that is set to explode in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And it is the dark of night. And by the time they come, they break up the party. The terrorists run away. He kills mostly everyone except for like Aziz and a few other henchmen. He calls the backup. They come in. They find out where the guys went. They go chase them. It's now the middle of the afternoon, but somehow the bomb has not gone off.
Yeah.
There's still like 15 minutes left. So I'm like, what happened? How did?
Yeah, the time didn't.
Shouldn't it still be nighttime? I don't really. The 10 o'clock news is on. I don't understand what was going on.
Well, it's kind of like Independence Day, how like they would bomb.
Oh, yes. It's very much like
they would come
Independence
down and they would attack, and then they would like go back to sleep and rest.
Yes,
for the
everybody
next day.
would rest up.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that are pretty funny here. We talked a little bit about the end where he does the "you're fired." Mm-hmm. But there's a few things to get to before that when we talk about nonsensical action. One part is they're on the bridge to Key West, which if you're familiar with...
Oh, God, it's so long.
It is one long bridge with no exit ramp. Probably, you're on it for probably like 45 minutes. It's the only way to get to the Florida Keys. Mm-hmm. So these guys are basically driving on this bridge trying to get the bomb to Miami to blow everything up to smithereens. And at some point, the spies like blow a hole in the bridge. Mm-hmm. One of the trucks that the bad guys is in almost falls off the bridge. They think they're safe. Then a seagull lands on it, knocks it over. As soon as the bridge falls, the truck falls off the bridge, it explodes.
Blows up, yes.
For no apparent reason.
It has to.
Then we have this sunroof gag where the art dealer has Helen in the back of a limo by gunpoint. She gets distracted, and so Helen has the bright idea to attack her and try to take the gun away. In the midst of them fighting with the gun, they shoot the driver in the head, which is very reminiscent of Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights.
Quick! So now there is a dead driver driving a limo, still going 65 miles per hour, down a bridge that has a big hole at the end of it. And my thing is, you've knocked this woman out, so she's unconscious, and you're now hanging out the sunroof, waiting for your husband who's leaning out of a helicopter to grab you before you fall to your death.
I'm crawling over the front seat and trying to stop the vehicle.
Nobody thinks to just hit the brakes.
Yeah, I'm like, get into the front seat and stop the car.
Right.
I couldn't understand.
Or climb out the sunroof and just jump out the car. It's going to hurt.
It's 5 miles an hour, boy.
It's going to hurt.
You're going to break some stuff.
Yeah, it's going to hurt. But you won't die.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah, the only way I'm living.
Harry! And then,
It's like,
and then he's yelling, the bridge is out. What? I can't hear you. The bridge is out. I was like, oh my God.
But this is also like a very 90s trope, right? Like, the women in these movies, they can fight each other, but like ultimately they need some man to come save them. And I'm like, man, like I'm pretty sure I wouldn't wait for someone to get me if I was hanging out the roof of a sunroof and the car's about to explode. I'm jumping out that thing. If I break bones, I break bones, but I'm not falling off this bridge.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Then, speaking of damsels in distress, we have this whole thing with her daughter.
The
daughter gets kidnapped while
that was like overkill for me.
While they're running around playing French spy prostitute games. The daughter's just left unattended all night. So the terrorists just go to her house and kidnap her up. And they're like, oh yeah, our daughter. We completely forgot about her. So now at the end of this movie, the final thing is that the daughter steals the key. She's a hostage, but somehow she's able to... She wasn't even
tied up.
She's able to steal the key. She's like, hey, what happened to the key? She goes... And
then she ran out.
She runs out. Hey, somebody... So she's unguarded. This is the worst hostage situation ever. You didn't tie her up. You had no one watching her. And you left a nuclear weapon next to her.
Because that's when they had the fake reporters come in to cover their story. And they're like, once I turned that key. And they're like, what key? That's key. And they turn around, the key's gone. It's very, very comedic.
Oopsie.
But they can't kill her because he said, if you shoot me, I'm going to drop it. Because now at this point, she goes outside. She starts crawling.
She crawls on like a crane that's like
super high up in the sky.
40 stories up.
Yeah.
So anyway, now Harry gets his Marine fighter jet.
Yeah.
Flies it over to where the crane is to get his daughter safely down. But at the same time, the terrorist is chasing the daughter. Mm-hmm. So then when the daughter jumps down, she's now hanging off the side of the... But then Aziz comes down. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, Aziz is so incensed by this whole situation that he wields a knife and tries to stab Harry.
Yeah.
Who is flying the jet that he is on.
It doesn't matter.
So
we're all going to die together.
What happens?
We're all going to die together. Hello.
But you're still not going to be able to blow up Miami.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whole point. That was the whole point, dog.
Yeah.
That's why you couldn't kill the daughter.
Because the rest of his faction is pretty much done, right? They're all dead.
Yeah. I mean, they were definitely all done by the end when he shoots the missile into their helicopter and says, you're fired.
You're fired. So talking about the action, how wild it is, we had a question from one of our Patreon members. Jeremy said...
This was his movie.
Yeah. He said, I've always wanted to know if necks break that easily. Arnold was breaking necks with such ease that I was afraid to crack my neck as a kid out of fear of killing myself.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to look this up. And the answer is absolutely not. in movies, they show you like turning a neck side to side, but apparently the muscles in the neck are very strong and resilient and meant to like not break easily. So that's actually not the proper way to break a neck. As I was reading, I happened upon the right way to do it, which I'm not going to say here because I don't want to be liable for whatever the heck you crazy people might be doing.
Rewind, Rewatch does not endorse the breaking of other people's necks.
But yes, what we see in movies is the whole like, oh, just take their neck and just twist it to the side. That's not how that works in real life. So, Jeremy, if you want to crack your neck, you want to go to a chiropractor, feel free to do so.
Do it safely.
Yeah, you should be fine. All right.
What is the theme of this movie, Andrene?
Dear God.
Is that your final answer?
There was so much happening in this movie. I struggled with the theme. I mean, so looking at the title, right? It's called True Lies. And so, as you mentioned earlier, there were a lot of different lies happening. You had Harry lying to his family. You had the wife lying to Harry about Simon. You had Simon lying to the wife. You also had Harry lying to his agency about what he was doing and where he was going and all of that. So, in this situation, you're looking at it like, okay, so I feel like one of the main themes, I guess, is like the idea of, you know, what happens when you lie. But I feel like that doesn't work for this movie because when you're a spy, like, you have to lie. Like, I don't see how you can get away with lying in this kind of situation. So I was kind of like, the title doesn't really give me a theme.
The title or the film?
The title. Like, a lot of times the title can, like, kind of give you a lend a hand as to what the theme is. But I'm like, okay, they're lying, but, like, I mean, everybody's lying. By the end of the film, we do see that Helen now ends up as a spy. We didn't mention that. So she and Harry are now taking
Despite
calls.
having absolutely no training, but she helped defeat the Crimson Jihad, and
all she has to do is drop her gun down the stairs, and she's fine.
So then they were like, you know what? We need to hire your wife now.
And she bitch slapped Juno.
That's true.
Hello. So now they work together by the end, and now they're able to have this happy and healthy relationship because they're working together.
Under the code name Boris and Doris.
So he's no longer Harry.
He's no longer Harry
Rehnquist.
No, Harry Rehnquist is done. That's out.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think as far as the relationship, you know, it shows that, you know, once Harry ended up putting, I guess, more work and actually showing his wife that he cared, maybe it made it better. But I really struggled because I was like, bro, this is just a funny action film. I didn't really learn a lesson from this. So I'm hoping you did, because I didn't really learn.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, dishonesty is like the biggest piece of this movie. And I feel like the theme for me was that lying leads to more trouble than it's worth. Obviously, there's a certain amount of lying that, like you said, is required for his job. But I feel like he went above and beyond that, especially with the whole, like, this whole prostitute side quest. He told her when they were in the interrogation, like, you have to do this mission or else you're going to be facing federal prison time. Yeah. She didn't have a choice. So he threatened her with federal prison time to, like, to just do this stupid thing just for her to prove that she still loved him. Like, it was all very ego-driven. And he actually ended up endangering her way more than he thought just because he was, like, his ego got hurt. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that was really the theme, was just, like, you're doing a lot and you're just being dishonest for no reason, and it's creating way more of a problem than it would have otherwise. And this all also stemmed from the fact that she was lying to him. So, yeah, don't lie to your spouse is probably the other big theme.
And don't lie about being a spy.
Unless you have to, of course.
You heard me?
Huh?
And don't lie about being a spy.
Right. Well, right, yeah. Unless you want her to join you and become a spy herself, because that's what happens, apparently. After your wife uncovers you being a spy, she just becomes one.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. All right. Some facts? Is that where we are now?
That's where we are.
That's where we are. This movie was based on a 1991 French film comedy called La Totale. And the overall plot was pretty much very similar to this one. It even had a sleazy car dealer in that movie as well. I didn't mention this before because we kind of just jumped into it, but this movie was directed by James Cameron, who also did the Avatar films, Titanic, and the Terminator movies. This was the first Hollywood movie that cost over $100 million to make.
So they spent that much on this movie and didn't worry about having safety on set?
It was the 90s.
They couldn't have spent a little bit more? You've already spent $100 million, man.
Well,
Protect your asset.
So what they
You could have
did,
killed Arnold Schwarzenegger.
going back for the money, the 3 Marine Harrier jets that are shown in the movie, they had to rent them at a rate of $2,410 per hour.
Why didn't they just like make fake ones?
They want the real ones, baby.
Okay.
James Cameron said, look, I'm James Cameron.
Yeah, this is not the movie. This is not a movie that like requires authenticity. You could have just gotten any old jet and just put like U.S. Navy on the side, or well, not the Navy doesn't have jets, obviously, but Marines. It would have been fine. Nobody would have cared.
Well, I don't know. They wanted authenticity. The strip
They
tease.
almost killed Arnold, man. I'm not over that yet. They're spending all this other money. They couldn't. All right. Anyway.
They almost killed Arnold, man. The striptease that happens with the character of Helen, James Cameron asked Jamie Lee Curtis what she wanted to dance to, and she chose the song that was playing, Alone in the Dark by John Hyatt. And they wanted the scene to be very sexy. She did not have any choreography, and there was actually no rehearsal. They basically were like, all right, we're going to do this scene, like, get at it. And it was supposed to be like, at first, like, you know, she's really nervous about it, but then she starts getting into it and rocking with it. And her falling off of the pole, which I distinctly remember, that wasn't part of it. Like, initially, they had her dancing, but basically Cameron was saying, like, they got to be too sexy because, like, she was killing it. And they were like, this is supposed to be kind of funny. Like, this is getting too steamy. So he asked her, like, what if I put a pad down on the floor? Like, would you try just falling off onto it? So she was like, yeah, we can do that. And so they added that in because they were like, you got to kind of be a little quirky. You can't just be out here killing the game.
She thought she was in a music video. Like, relax, Mom. Relax.
So I mentioned before.
Nah, when she falls, the funniest part about it is the way that Harry immediately gets up and gets nervous, and then he's like, "Oh wait, I'm not supposed to be her husband," and sits back down.
Yeah.
Like his reaction actually makes it funnier.
Yeah, I agree with that. We mentioned this already, but like MythBusters actually did an episode called The Hollywood Gunslingers, where they tested the idea of having like a MAC-10, dropping it down multiple rounds of stairs, and of course it didn't fire when they did that. I mentioned earlier that, you know, how they were portraying some of the terrorists was just like really racist and a hot mess. A New York Times article said that Arab Americans as well as Muslims protested this film for stereotyping characters. They believed it depicted Arabs as violent, anti-American zealots. And as I noted before, they said, like, there's no clear motivation for their planting nuclear weapons. Like, they're just blowing it up for the sake of blowing it up. What I thought was kind of funny was protesters were walking outside the Uptown Theater in New York, and they carried signs that read, "Hasta la vista, tolerance."
Oh, man. Hasta la vista tolerance is crazy. That's crazy.
So because of that, I think it was it Fox was backing the film, and they said that they sought to rectify the situation by adding a disclaimer to the end credits that reads, "This film is a work of fiction and does not represent the actions or beliefs of a particular culture or religion." However, I actually sat there and watched to see where it came up. It does show up, but that disclaimer is like at the very, 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 very end of the film, after noting that animal action was monitored by the American Animal Society. So it's kind of like you added it in there, but
they
like,
also did not say no animals were harmed on the set of this film
that horse.
one of them got hit in the nose, so they couldn't say that.
Oh, you're right.
They just said the animals were monitored. That's all they could say.
But they might have been harmed.
Yeah, well.
Oh, damn. Yeah. So that's not great. All right.
It's not. I'll go first with my rewind rating. Like I said, I had a very vague memory of this film because I really just remembered the dancing scene. But seeing the whole thing from the beginning, and by the way, it's 2.5 hours, so buckle up if you plan to rewatch this. I really enjoyed it more than I thought that I would. And I know that you guys are going to be like, well, why do you like this movie any more than you liked
Fifth Element
or Face Off or Speed or any of these other... Well, we also liked Speed. But I think, like I said, I think the Tom Arnold scenes were funny. I think some of the gags that they had throughout the film, like the Mac 10 dropping down the stairs and the cheesy lines that are like very clearly like Arnold preparing himself for Batman and Robin. I feel like they were so on the nose that it made it funny. Like, you're riding a horse in the Marriott elevator, like, that's funny. I don't know. Arnold killing two guys in a men's bathroom is just, it's hilarious. So I feel like the comedy made the action, it's almost kind of reminds me of, what's that movie those movies that they put out with like all the action stars in the same movie?
Oh, they're just talking about with like the Rambo guy and
it's like Stallone and like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I know
and
you're talking about it. I've never watched
and
them.
like all those guys. I can't remember what it's gonna come to me after we're done recording. But I feel like those movies are similar and like it's so over the top and it's so like, yo, this is like an action movie on steroids. I feel like this was like
The Expendables.
The Expendables, that's right. I remember going and seeing that with a bunch of my friends, like when it came out. It was like we had like a guys' night and we were just like going nuts and like, yeah! It was so stupid that we were just loving it. It was just so over the top. And I feel like this movie is similarly like, it doesn't take itself seriously. It just like knows like we're trying to make a ridiculous action movie and have a few good laughs in there. And I think that's what more action movies should do. I feel like action movies should have a good bit of humor because every action movie has ridiculous things in it anyway. So you might as well just play into the humor of it all. And so for that reason, I did really like this. The only downside, like I said, is like it is very long. Like it's close to 3 hours, which is longer than a movie like this really needs to be, especially since it's not particularly plot driven. But I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
Ooh.
If it was shorter, I would have given it a 4.
Wow. You love this movie.
I really did enjoy it.
This movie was really funny. One thing that I forgot to mention that I want to make sure that I mention here is there's a part where Simon has Helen in the car and Harry is trailing them. He actually has like a copter following them around. And one of the guys mentions like, oh, like her head is in his lap. And that's because Simon says like, oh, you don't want them to see you. Put your head in my lap. Like, I don't know what he thought she was going to do.
He's
like,
a used car salesman, man. He's slime.
So as that happens, you hear one of the guys who's in the chopper says, oh yeah, she's got her head in that guy's lap, all right. Yahoo. That was said by James Cameron.
Oh my God. Yahoo. All right,
Which
man.
I thought was just funny.
All right, man.
But yeah, I definitely laughed a lot, like out loud watching this movie, which is what you want from a fun film like this. Like, yes, there's some rolling of the eyes, but I think for me, Tom Arnold was fantastic. Everything that he said was just really hilarious. So it was just entertaining. It was too long. You know, I don't like a 2-hour film. So it was.
Oh, it's not 2 hours. It's longer than that.
Yeah, it was too long. It was too long. They definitely could have cut a good bit of this out, but it was fun enough. It was, fun enough. And I feel like for me, there was some nostalgia because I don't know if you remember this, but when we were younger, we used to like always die laughing at the scene when after Harry finds out that Helen is seeing Simon, she's at home and she's lying to him about where she was for lunch. And the camera keeps getting closer and closer to his face and he's just like grilling her. And I busted out laughing. I was like, bro, like he was so tight that it was just really funny to watch. So that was fun. Would I watch this film again? I would watch it again, but I need some time because I just watched it and it's very long. I am going to give this a 3.5. I can't give higher than that just because of, the racial stereotypes. That was a little bit much for me. But 3.5.
That's still, a 3.5 and a 3.75. Or
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I think James Cameron would be happy with that.
Yeah, he should be.
All right. Well, let us know your rewind rating for True Lies. You know how to reach us. We are on all social media sites at RR90spod. You can shoot us an email at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. And again, don't forget, this is your last chance.
Don't forget.
Get those Q&As in. Well, get the Q's in. You'll get your A's later.
Get your cues in.
Get your Q's in. Leave us a voicemail. We really appreciate those of you who have already reached out, and hoping to get a few more before episode 100.
Absolutely. And just as a reminder, we are streaming on all of the different places where you can find a podcast. I had a listener recently basically say that they only listen to Spotify for our podcast. And I asked her, why don't you listen to us on Apple? And she's like, you're on Apple Pods? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, since when? I'm like, since our first episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're available pretty much anywhere. So look us up and you should be able to find us. And also remember, our Patreon is having a lot of fun. The chat is always a place where I can go and get a giggle. It's only $5 a month. You get bonus episodes, and you also, get a jump start. You get to know what we're going to be covering before we actually cover it. All right. Do you have any final words for True Lies?
Kids, 10 seconds of joy, 30 years of misery.
All right, y'all. Later.
Adios.